Hey everyone, it's Kristie with AG Takes Over. I'm glad you're here and I hope that you are up for hearing about some doll adventures. Whenever I have an in person meetup, whether that's having people over at my house or organizing or attending something local for AG collectors, I like to make a video about it. And I promise you, it is not to rub your noses in anything. Um, it's really, some people may truly not have access to doing in person meetups, and this is kind of a way to experience it secondhand. But also, I think often we assume that we are more isolated than we are. And I hope that these videos will inspire you to at least consider searching for other doll collectors near you. So, and if you are like, yep, I already have those options, then maybe this will just give you some ideas for activities that you could do, kind of give you a roadmap. Anyway, happen to have two in person meetups in 1 month, which is not the norm. So every few months, and if you're a longtime viewer, you'll know this already. My wife and I have three of our friends over, and we do a big girl slumber party. So we usually have our friends Mel, Robin, and Kirsten over, and so the five of us will all have some dolls. We will, have food and laughter, and just I'm not really at the age, and I don't think any of us are, that we want a girls' night out. Like I'm past my clubbing years. Um, but I am so down for a girls' night in, and I think that adult slumber parties are vastly underrated. If you haven't had one, get on board. So here's the gang, and I told them bring over your TLC dolls if you've got dolls you want worked on. I'm always happy to work on dolls. So I'm just showing you a couple of pictures. Sometimes it's really hard to get a good before picture, especially if all you're doing is restringing a doll because, I show you floppy legs and now they're not floppy. Big whoop. But anyway, two Lindsays, two Lindsays came over that night, and both of them needed restringing. And I will not remember all the names of all of my friends' dolls, but I'm just going to show you. Here's a custom one from Kirsten's collection. By the way, Kirsten is This American Girl Reads, also on YouTube. So if you haven't checked out her channel, please do. And my friend Mel brought over this beauty. Holy crap. Um, and she wanted me to, for starters, take out this doll's eyes, which I did. I find these kinds of eyes not really my style. Especially, I think it's part of it is the lashes go like almost straight up, so they look kind of permanently shocked. But she got this on Shop Goodwill, and I don't know why she got it. I think she just wasn't sure which doll it actually was, but it had um, been rewigged already. The glue was a hot mess. It was down way, way lower than it should be and very visible all over the wig. The wig was poorly cut. Clearly, they took markers to this doll's eyes and did a mediocre paint job at best on the lips. And she was very scratched up and shine marks all over and just a mess. Um, Oh, by the way, I did get the eyes out, and she just left them with me because she wasn't interested in keeping them, and I put them on little magnets, and here they are on my fridge. So there's that. Now I can just see creepy eyes anytime I go open the fridge. And then the same friend brought over a Caroline, and I didn't take a good before picture, but this is the after we did a wash and conditioner, and my friend Robin brushed the hair out as a like prepping of Mel's Caroline. So this is not even a good before. This is like a midway. Story of my life. I don't get enough before and after pictures. And then I said, well, we've got all the dolls looking crazy. Why don't we take a picture with them? So this was right after we had that nice picture where we all looked adorable. Then we're all holding disembodied dolls. Totally sane. This is what everybody does on a Saturday night, right? And here is a lineup of almost all of the dolls. So if I remember correctly, there were two dolls that just needed their wigs redone. Like just needed their wigs glued down. Two dolls that needed color added back to their lips. One that needed her eyes taken out, and we were able to get that marker off of that Addie Mold's eyes astonishingly. And at least 5 of these dolls needed restrung, and then Caroline's over there in rollers waiting for, her treatment to be finished. So, yeah, there are the dolls. Here, if you're ready for some actual, like, impressive before and after pictures, is Caroline. Look how good she looks. She looks so pretty. And side note, my wife and I have had 3 different Carolines come through our house and be like temporary parts of our collection, and just never like really connected with any of them. But I have decided that I'm only getting 2 dolls this year, and I think Caroline might end up being one of them. It's the eyes. I don't know if I'm going to shell out the money and get like a new inbox so that the curls are perfect, or if I will go the TLC route and give her like a shorter, like a blonde bob or something. I don't know. I don't know. But I think I'm going to add Caroline this year. I'm just going to be picky because the last one that we had, she looked kind of dead inside. And when I see ones that really look like they have a personality and they look alive and they don't have like a vacant dead stare, then I'm like, oh yeah, that's what I'm looking for. That's what I need. Okay, and then the next impressive makeover, tooting my own horn here, totally. But I actually just finished this one up today. Like this is a couple weeks later. Um, Mel brought her this Addie Mold doll that was a train wreck back over, and said, "Can you help me get the eyes in? I kind of messed one up, and I don't know if it's beyond repair." So we did the best I could, and check her out. That's the same doll. She got her a new wig, got as many of the scratches out as she could with magic mesh. I put the new brown eyes in. I fixed the chipped tooth, redid the teeth paint, mixed. There was a little lopsidedness still to the lips, but I evened it out quite a bit. And I mixed like a brown and a purple together to get that tone. And then glued down this new wig that she'd gotten from, I believe, from Zazu on Etsy. So yeah, oh my gosh, she's so cute. And I don't think she'll mind since she doesn't usually post her dolls like on Instagram or YouTube. But I said, I think you should name her because she's been wondering like what base doll was this? And since it was rewigged and doesn't have the piercings, we know ears pierced, we know it was never an Addie. But I don't know. So I said, I think you should call her Terry, and her full name is like she's Miss Terry, like she's a mystery because we don't know. So here is Terry. I think she is lovely. She's adorable. So yeah, a big chunk of the night was us chatting while we all kind of worked on dolls and chatted, and then of course pizza, because this is kind of our MO is pizza and then ice cream sundaes, and our friends bring over toppings and we supply the ice cream, and everybody has a good time. And then my plan was for us to play this Samantha's mystery party game. I had just gotten it on Facebook Marketplace and I was super excited. It was still in the plastic. I was like, I'm going to wait till they get here and I'm going to open it. And that was real dumb. I should have researched because it's one of those games where like everybody has a character role that they're supposed to play and you're supposed to tell them like when you send out your party invitations, and you encourage the people to even like show up dressed like this character, and you have already like hidden clues and different things around your home, and I didn't know any of that. So when we did this, I was like, oh well, clearly that's not going to work. So no worries, we went ahead and assigned the roles for the next slumber party. We picked a date, we assigned the roles, we're good to go for next time. And in the meantime, Kirsten had actually gotten this American Girl mystery puzzles box like very recently. So she had brought that over, and I thought we would end up doing, both, but we just did like the game and the puzzles. And since we had to scrap the game, we just focused on the puzzle. And we did the one from one of Molly's mysteries because it's got Kit, Samantha, Kaya, and Molly in this. Here are some shots that Kirsten was kind enough to take of us at the table working on the puzzle. It's really hard to have 4 people working on a puzzle and you're, like, leaning so far over just to try to get a look at things. But it was coming along. Dolls everywhere in the background. everywhere. And there we go. Success. Yes. There's the picture, or the completed puzzle. And then the next morning we have breakfast and everybody heads off and does their own thing. I think the next morning was Mother's Day in this case. So, and then 2 weekends later, I believe, the Central Ohio American Girl Doll Club that those 5 people that do the slumber party founded the Central Ohio American Girl Doll Club. We decided to do it the night before the big meetup that Grace and I hosted at the AG Columbus store when it was getting ready to close. So I had the idea to host a meetup there, and we had everything ready for that. And our friends spent the evening before, and we were talking about, it would be really nice to capitalize on the fact that more people are going to be there and maybe like spread the word about, hey, how do we keep this going afterwards? And so our, brainchild of that slumber party was to start a Facebook group that could be a local doll club. And we had in that first year 3 meetups, I believe. I think we had a spring, a summer, and then a fall. And then that was all in 2024. And then 2025, we just had the first one. So spring again. Winter is hard. Winter is busy. And our friend Emma organized this one. She used to work at the AG Columbus store. And so we didn't have to do anything but show up, which was really nice. We did take some stuff because usually people will take a few of us, kind of the core people will usually take some photo opportunity things to set up. And we usually meet in a park. We make sure it's wheelchair accessible, try to find something that has a shelter. And she just said, bring some spring things, gave a whole bunch of ideas, and said, bring snacks and maybe drinks and a snack to share. And people did. And it was lovely. We had 5 people that had never been to one of our meetups. 6 if you count the parent of one of them. I guess 7 if you count the spouse of one of them. So, but as far as doll collectors, we had 5 doll collectors come who had never been to one of our meetups. We had 14-ish people there in total, 14 or 15. And one who had been to our fall one and came back for a second time. And then the rest were people who tend to come more frequently. So yeah, we had people drive from a couple hours away, and I always worry, like, will it be worth it for those people if they're driving that far? And we only get together for a couple of hours. But I suppose if you don't have your like local crew of doll collectors, this is a very special thing for a lot of people to get to do, just to get to feel comfortable and have their dolls out and have it be normalized and nobody questioning it and nobody being rude. So yeah, I hope that everybody had a great time. They certainly seemed to. And we interrupted somebody's reading. People were just sprawled out enjoying the beautiful weather. But I interrupted a couple and said, can I borrow one of you? And the person was kind enough to come over and take a picture. And then somebody pointed out the obvious that we should get a group picture of the dolls. So here are a bunch of our dolls. None of them fell over. I know those 2 look like they fell over, but they're actually posed on the ends there in the front. But none of them. Yes, some of them did fall over in the setup. None of them were damaged. That's how I should say that. Just a quick video of kind of the layout. And I hadn't done this before, but I just wanted to show you. So there's, our generation greenhouse set up there far in that far picnic table. Sorry, it got blurry. Is the table with all the snacks. And then here was a table for buy, sell, trade stuff. And then off in the side there was also Kit's like produce stand. I don't know the official name of it, but so Emma brought Kit's produce stand. We brought the our generation greenhouse, and then other people were welcome to use those. I do find that it's helpful if a couple people can bring kind of photo opportunities. Yes, there were flowers nearby, and those made a lovely photo opportunity as well. Somebody who showed up later brought cornhole, like doll-sized cornhole, and that was cute as well. I just didn't have it in that video because they hadn't shown up yet. All right. And then just some of the chaos. People bring their dolls, set them down everywhere. It's cute. Oh, this is a picture showing you can't I guess you can make out some of it like earring supplies. So Emma was offering to do some like kind of like a little piercing station if anybody wanted to do piercings for their dolls. Here's a close up of some. The dolls were not for sale that are there holding the flags, but some of the flags were. And all of the clothes there were things that people could buy. Oh, and then somebody who came up from a couple of hours away um, didn't immediately bring anything to put in the buy sell table, but then did eventually go over to her car and bring back a bunch of things that she had made. And they were really adorable and very reasonably priced, and they were all in little plastic baggies. And I bought 3 things because I just thought that it was a great price. I didn't buy anything else, so I got this one. Adorable pineapple romper. And I didn't put that one on at the event. And then I got this one, the flamingo dress, and it came with the little matching headband. Again, super reasonably priced. This one like had Velcro and opened completely, so the Velcro went all the way down, which I love. It's just easier to get dolls quickly in and out of things. And then this one is not what Lyric, the doll on the right, was originally wearing. You'll see her in some photo shoots later, but I got this from the person who was selling the clothes that she'd made, and I immediately had to put it on her because it was just so like springy, summery, and it was a great fit. Yeah, super excited about the things that we got. By the way, that's my wife's CYO, her newest, excuse me, CYO that she got just in the nick of time on the left. As of this recording, still unnamed. So yeah, to be named and Lyric, one of our truly or JLY 45s. Then I also took Mac, and I don't know what she's trying to grab. I think she found a bug that she was trying to collect. So I got a couple pictures of her reaching for it. And there's Lyric in the original outfit that I took her there in. Told you there were some pretty flowers. And then here's Lyric at the greenhouse. Here is Mac at the greenhouse. And then here's Lyric with 2 other dolls. Obviously, one of them is Blair, and I don't know if the other one is she's got lined eyebrows, so she's not a CYO. So maybe a rewigged Julie. I'm not sure. That is Kit's produce stand, and I believe that Emma added a whole lot of extra things in it. So I did get a couple close-ups of the things that she added, like lots of breads and those flowers and just some extra fun things. Sombrita from Josefina's collection. And then there were some chicks on the other side, but I forgot to photograph those. And then here is my wife's CYO at the same produce stand and by the same flowers. And in the same greenhouse. I just wanted to get her cute face in there. And that is that. So, wrapping up with group pictures from both events, I hope that this encourages you, if you have the opportunity to get together with folks in real life, to do so. And if you don't, I hope it scratches some sort of itch and that you've got to enjoy it vicariously. Um, if you enjoy these kinds of insider looks at American Girl doll events, whether they are official, sanctioned things like store tours or the benefit sale or things like that, or these more informal ones, I do have a playlist of just these types of videos called, I think it's like Insider Edition or Inside Look or something like that. So I will go ahead and link that in just a couple seconds. And then I will also link a video that I did not too long ago that I'm hoping gets a lot of love because it was a year in the making, and I'm calling it the Luca Project. So if you haven't watched it, just go ahead and click on that video and check it out. All right. In the meantime, take care. I hope that you're doing well and that you get to spend some time with your dolls today. Bye.